Hello.
Hello, am I speaking with Victor Ambros?
You are. Morning.
Good morning. Very early morning, I know. Many congratulations on the news.
Well, thank you. Sorry that my phone was in the other room this morning, so I didn't hear any earlier calls.
Not at all. I mean,
Thank you.
you haven't yet spoken with Thomas Perlman from the Nobel Committee, I guess.
No, I have not.
Did you actually receive the news by being called by a journalist?
I received the news by being called by my son. Yeah, a journalist called my son. Right. Yeah. And so my son called.
That's a nice call to make to your dad.
My dad, yeah. Yeah.
It must all be a bit bewildering getting the news just as it's all breaking, so everybody's trying to reach you. But if I could ask, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, my initial thought was great surprise, because I had understood the prize to my good friends Craig Mello and Andy Fire for RNAi. I considered that to be an appropriate prize, which encompassed microRNAs. So I had kind of put the idea aside, although people from time to time do mention, oh, you might win a Nobel Prize, but I always dismiss that as, no, it's okay. It's still all been covered and appropriately,
Well, this is also the fourth Nobel Prize for the nematode.
Yeah, and that gives me incredible pride. Yeah, and the fact that Rutkin is the other awardee is incredible, because Gary's such a good friend. Yeah, I mean, you asked me what my first sense was. It's surprise, and secondly, of course, it's a kind of muted joy, because whenever this sort of thing happens to basic scientists, and especially scientists working on the nematode, I think it's a wonderful thing for everybody doing this kind of work. We see it as in a way, as a celebration, not really of the particular scientist in this case, but of the way of doing science, curiosity-driven genetic studies of complicated phenomenon. And what you hope is you'll learn a little bit more about how the phenomenon works.
Yeah.
And it's always amazing when the findings are new enough to be of interest broadly.
And I wondered whether that ability to be on the lookout for new phenomena and really take them seriously and investigate them, that's a special art. Is it something that you think was a particular benefit of having worked with, for instance, David Baltimore for your PhD, Bob Horvitz for your postdoc? Did that train you in the art of looking for the unexpected?
Yes, very much so. I mean, I was fortunate enough to work with a series of fantastic scientists, Bob and David. And before that, I worked with a postdoc named Edward Gruberg. And Gruberg was a fantastic mentor and really got me alerted to the fact that you can find out new things doing sort of routine experiments, And he also taught me how to read the literature, and therefore train myself, to be aware of what's known and what's not known, so that you can notice what's new.
It's also a celebration of the versatility of RNA, this prize, isn't it? I mean, yet again, something unexpected.
Yes, that's actually very exciting to consider that. Yeah, you made a really good point. I just got back from a meeting in Ottawa, which is a meeting of the Ribo Club, and there's over 500 people there, and they celebrated the formation of RNA Canada, which is a nationwide network of scientists and others promoting research around RNA for health, agriculture, climate change, and so forth. We all know that RNA is fascinating and incredibly versatile, and it was the whole meeting was kind of like a celebration of RNA, especially when I went to the posters. There was poster session with young people doing incredibly diverse amount of kinds of work.
Well, I guess today will help to boost that message then. I long to know what your son actually said to you when he called you.
Hey, Candy, what did Greg say?
He called.
Have you been getting calls from Sweden? So
You should answer
You should answer the phone, he said.
That's nice. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. And once again, congratulations.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
You just heard a special episode of Nobel Prize Conversations. If you enjoyed this moment, you won't want to miss a single episode of our podcast. Be sure to subscribe. We're available on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many more popular platforms.